Simua. Than there in a Radis and Bishema, if you don't see us, today being another great day, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the district executives for being active with the locals, to also thank the local executives, Isaac and his team, for giving me this opportunity to once again stand in front of my wonderful, beautiful, handsome youth members this evening. Amen. Because of your time, I might take out certain things, but I'll get the message across. I was there yesterday on my bed studying, and my brother came to my room. So when he came to my room, he looked bored, and I asked him, "Why are you bored?" He said, "I don't know." And I asked him again, "Why are you bored?" And he said, "I want to be happy." These are his words. So I asked him, being the senior brother, whenever the little ones ask you or tell you that they want to be happy, it means they want you to buy them something. So I asked him, "What can I do to make you happy?" And as he was thinking, he goes, "Well, maybe you can get me your phone." He said, "Okay, this is your moment to shine. Convince me as to the reason why I should get your phone." I gave him 10 minutes. He wasn't able to convince me. So I told him, or gave him another chance, that what can I do to make you happy? So as he was thinking, all of a sudden he goes, "Make my dreams come true." And then I started laughing. The reason why I started laughing was because this is somebody whose dream is to become a basketball player. And then looking at me, looking at my height, looking at my strength, I don't fit into the category of being a basketball player. If you check my track record, I have never stepped on a basketball court to play. So how can I make your dream of becoming a basketball player true? So I looked at him, and I assumed he was expecting an answer from me. And so as I was looking at him, I said to him, "I can make your dream come true. I can make your dreams come true, but you are the only one who can make your dreams come true." And so he started thinking about what I've said to him. And he asked me, "What do you mean by I'm the only one who can make my dreams come true?" And I told him, "I didn't force you to set for yourself the dream of wanting to become a basketball player. You decided that for yourself. So, in order to get to the point in life where you want to be a basketball player, it only takes you to put in the work to becoming the basketball player." And he looked at me and asked, "So how can I make my dreams come true?" And the answer I gave him was that, be careful not to lose focus. So that is the theme I'll be talking about today. Be careful not to lose focus. But before I go into further explaining what I mean by that, let's clarify on certain definitions. So first of all, we'll start with be careful, or Isaac. Okay, let's start with be careful. And then we'll go on to lose. And then we will finally finish with focus. What does it mean to be careful? What does it mean to be careful? If somebody meets you and asks, "Ohima, what does it mean to be careful?" What would you say? Cautious. Okay, we have cautious. What's the second word?
Aware.
Aware. Careful.
Be on your guard.
Be on your guard. Let's say be guarded. Last one. careful.
20.
20.
Discipline.
Discipline.
Alert.
Alert.
What does it mean to lose? What does it mean to lose?
Fail.
Fair.
Forfeit.
F9.
Good job. My brother for me naming and I'm the alcohol. Okay. What does it mean to lose? To let go of something, right?
To come up short of the results you're looking for.
Come up short.
It ain't. Cinnamon.
What does it mean to focus? What does it mean to focus?
Concentrate.
What does it mean to
Paying attention.
attention? Last one. Last one. What does it mean to focus? Aim. Be careful not to lose focus. Be careful not to lose focus. We've defined all these words and we'll break them down into their individual meanings. How many of us have heard of New Year resolutions? Obia to New Year resolutions. Why not setting New Year resolutions, Amanda? That. Obia setting New Year resolutions, Amanda. 2018. Before coming into 2018, how many of us had New Year resolutions? Before coming into 2018. Okay. After today, we only have exactly 50 days to enter into 2019. So then let me ask you, of all the resolutions that you set for yourself for the year 2018, how many of them have you been able to achieve as of now? Of all the resolutions you set for yourself, how many of them have you been able to achieve as of now? 1, 2. Okay. It's good. My person is setting up a point.
Yeah, because
I'll come there.
yes, sir.
I'll come there. May start
Gradually.
may set up a point. 18. In the year 2018, we set up so many resolutions for ourselves. This year I want to do this. This year I want to do that. This year I want to accomplish that. But if your day is to end today, of all the resolutions, which of them can you look back and say, I was able to accomplish that resolution? We set so many resolutions for ourselves before the year, or sometimes along the year. But along the lines, we lose focus of these resolutions. Why? Because we give up on them. We are distracted because of people's opinions, because of our own opinion of ourselves, because maybe we might have tried in the previous year, it didn't go well, we failed, so we tend to lose focus again once we set that resolution. But today I'm speaking to you about the subject, be careful not to lose focus. As I was telling my brother, you are the only person who has that focus. Nobody pulled a gun in front of you and said, hey, if you don't set something for yourself, I'm going to kill you. You sat down and decided for yourself that at this point in time in life, I want to get here. You sat down and decided for yourself, in the year 2018, I want to accomplish this. So nobody forced you. But yet still, ask yourself, why aren't you able to be disciplined enough to get to where you want to be? Why aren't you able to discipline yourself enough to go for that resolution that you set for yourself? We lose focus along the way. Immediately we make a mistake, find it right there. Immediately we fail at something, we say, oh, so my try now and my failure. I might as well give up and go my way. Or immediately somebody comes and tell you, hey, Master, this resolution that you set for yourself, there's no way you can achieve them. You pay attention to those words and so my fun is mind you, on also one ideation but on control. And although the iron young done among the be out, Nipper way I say, Nipper way so you say is really on to many say. Sometimes our own opinion of ourselves makes us lose focus. And I always say, you will never progress beyond your own opinion of yourself. The way you see yourself is how others see you. Where you see yourself to be in life is where life will see you to be. And until yet, artist our statement we say, "Enipa we di omu ne hontimi mono." So who one enipa ebu. And so if you discipline yourself enough to focus on your ambition, people will respect that discipline and give you the due respect you deserve. Enipa we di omu ne hontimi nsumi mono. Enipa we di oye aimless, hontimi nsumi hu nso oye aimless. Because he has nothing going on in life. She has nothing going on in life. But the moment you have something going on in life, people see you and they know that this person, he's always wanting to do this. And so these are the efforts that he's putting in to get there. So let me not even bother myself to go and distract him or to go and distract her. You will never progress beyond your own opinion of yourself. How you see yourself is how others will see you. How you see life is how life will see you. Okachiro honsa abrabo ami boy de enko yi a. Abrabo nso make sure so obebo le say de enko yi ma. But the moment you set something for yourself, the moment you say to yourself, this is my resolution for the year. You just don't say it and let it be. It will never come to pass on its own. You have to work towards it. And in working towards it, you will meet failure. There are instances where you have to forfeit something. There will be instances where you have to let go of something. There will be instances where you have to sacrifice and come short of other things. But when those instances come, when you set something for yourself and you fail, know that failure is a learning tool. You will never understand success unless you fail. Enipa or yeah light, and na light seriously. He tried 1,000 times. The 1,001 time, that is when he invented light. And so in an interview, they asked him, why didn't you give up when you tried the 1,000 time and you didn't achieve what you wanted to achieve? I didn't know. And I would do 1,000, no. And when now decided to say you take a step further. And he said, I didn't fail 1,000 times. I only found out 1,000 ways not to do certain things. 1,000 ways not to do something. So it's not a failure. You only understand failure or you only understand success if you fail. Imagine so I was to not take the exam. And I'll use my personal example. My Spanish class, my first exam, this is a common story I'm talking. My first exam, I tried 8%.
Hey.
In my Spanish class, I have an 8%. 8%, 8 out of 100.
Wow.
The second exam, I had a 15%.
Slow progress.
I wouldn't want to go so much deep into that story. Never so. But I will give you an insight as to what happened. Me when school sending me link as a first year student. School sending me link say, these are your language prerequisites that you have to fulfill. So choose one. I had all the languages that I could choose from except three. I had French, I had German, I had Arabic, I had all subjects that I could, all languages that I could choose from. But I chose to go with Spanish. The reason was because when I came to America, Spanish was the second dominant language apart from English. And now Americans are trying to adopt it as an official second language. So it will get to a point in time, whether you like it or not, you have to take Spanish. So I decided to take Spanish. And so when the school sent me the link, I thought once I passed that exam, because the link was set for an exam, once I passed that exam, it means I wouldn't have to take Spanish again for the rest of my college year. So I clicked on the link and it told me that this is a take-home exam. It means you don't have to be in the class to take the exam. Which student wouldn't like that?
Right.
So I took my tie, took my computer aside into my room. In the middle of the night when everybody was sleeping, I said to myself, this is the time to get 100 on this exam. So I pulled up Google, copied and pasted all the questions in Google, and lo and behold, I had all the answers I was looking for. So within 5 minutes, I had finished with the exam with a 100% score. As happy as I was, I went to campus the next day, and my advisor already had my scores. So she said, good job. I thought she was going to follow her words by saying, it means you don't have to take Spanish again. Little was I expecting, and she said, and I could picture her face saying it. She said, thank you for passing the first stage of Spanish. It means you have to take the second level of Spanish. I didn't know, say, menkano kresa exam in Chitiyo. Say, menkanchen someone sama me retake you. And so the moment she said I had to take the second year Spanish, I said, okay, I'll take it. I went to the class the next day. There were 3 guys. Myself, 1 Indian guy, and 1 white guy. The rest were all females. Timira class, one of the big catcher and said, Kotna, find the very back seat now, Kotna. And I'm got in our back seat. On my work class on OBI Spanish, whether in high school, elementary school. So they had the background except me. Timetina say, Spanish teacher, so I feel on free Spain now. Into only English there. You can imagine. English no one can crouch as Spanish in Kwan. Now, Madame Ibage now, or candy or Becca, and to me, they mean the worker. But I realized that we were sitting in circles. We were sitting in circles. And I realized the first person is sorry. Or can't do baby and no abonity. Not second person, I'm sorry. But also can't no abonity, no I can't dom, no I can't cause, no I can't the oil. So I followed that pattern to realize that your introduction. Not my name's introduction. Many many students Nimono. There was this one girl Buma, and then I know the same residential hall. So how am far pen and paper say? The again can be I'll try to write it in a way I can read. But a drew baby will be in the anam to meet the answer. A drew baby will free out, not baby I'm free out. To me for pen and paper again, let's try or can't a dream is no meaning introduction here, yeah. It's like telling people about yourself. You don't need to look on it. But the dream is not for paper. Me, I'm once about makers, not for paper. Already off the paper. Theory, I'm a dim recako advice and all catcher and say, Mechiti or exams. It told you, I'm ready to face whatever punishment you give. And also, it's not a big deal. I just have to pass the class. Men's class, I'm in tissue. See, the next day, I call class, man, tissue. We are call Professor in office and catch it. not to be disrespectful, but all I want out of this class is to get a D minus. That's what I'm looking for. To pass the class. That's what I'm looking for. In your first exam, I had an 8%. Your second exam, I had a 15%. I was making progress, so I was happy. Your third exam, I remember, I said before your third exam, near 4 exams. I remember I said your third exam, we call lady in the office, professor in the office. Now, just to check up on where I'm standing right now, I know, say, no F, but F, I have 59 below, right? F 59 below. But I'm presenting him, say, if you are not with the 59 mark, so I know what effort to put in to get into the 60s. You may go and a woman and say, me or F, now, no, in the 30s. So I had 2 options. It's either I drop the class, but you have can swear you, it means make a 7 drop. Because you drop here, I think I'm a something. So it's either I drop the class, or I put in the effort to at least make 1A, and then that will push me up to D minus. Okay. So my third exam, I remember the day I made the day you schedule side exam for. Now, before that exam, there was a yesterday review session. The day I review session, number chemistry final exam. So you have 2 options. Skip a chemistry, now study review session for Spanish. And now I say, chemistry not fail in Spanish. You move on. So I had to take a hard decision. Now I decided to go for Spanish review session. Because session, obviously the more can I'm interview. In the end, madam say in English, say, what is a potential essay question of waiting here at Ramai? God being so good, late age now, I don't know. So I was shared out, so near man also. Late age now, I can give you so many questions to write about. For example, I can tell you to tell me about your favorite place to eat. So what kind of doing it? And I'm through here in bread. I'm call this Spanish website. And I'm typing in. Say, like, me draw in English, me draw everything in English about that topic. Say, my favorite place to eat. And now, citing, translating in Spanish. To me, dini na baba say me ko. Na de na ma. I didn't say, me call same question. Describe your favorite place to eat. To me, see me trust it. Miss Mimpe Yam Tigran and Miracle. And your words are my dinner babany na natural too. In the exam number, I didn't 75. Now I was on a D minus mark. Say, medical class or some So I ended up with a D minus in the class. That is how I started. D minus. That is how I started. But the reason why I said you will never understand success unless you fail was because of this story. D minus na minyayen. It made me happiest. As a matter of fact, that was my lowest grade in my academic career. But it made me happier than other classes. It made me happier than classes where I've had all A's. It made me happier than classes where I've had all B's. Why? Because I didn't fail that class. And I was proud for the fact that it got to a point in time where I wanted to give up on the class. But then I said to myself, Brunina no ultimate, I remember I said, there was this Indian guy, there was this white guy. But no, he was just lazy. Because Brunina over Spanish background all these years. So me try 8%, now we try 8%. But one day, I didn't come on and make a and say, is he going to drop the class? The reason I'm using this was because Indian Nino, he was very good with Spanish. And what was happening, I said, yeah, exam now 90s. The lowest score was a 92 in Spanish. He's an Indian, but that was his lowest score. The moment to bring the paper, now I pass here, my never guy, and say, young fan, study guide and study for the next exam. Enti, I am right? Because remember say you see chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4 near Yahoo exam. The Yahoo exam, we don't come back to those chapters again. Enti, if we are leaving those chapters behind, now the whole exam, Mama said, for the next chapter. But then, Odia no pass just to make fun of us. It's Odia no pass it's not happening. And Buza and say, is he going to drop the class? I don't know. Because me try 8% or me try 8%. Me try 15 when you have 12.5. So we are 12.5, now me have 15. Then Nipan is going to give you up. Why should I give up? So I had an 8%, I had a D- in Spanish, and I was happier than the A+, the A- that I had. Why? Because I understood that in order to be successful, I had to fail. You cannot be successful without failing. It doesn't come like that. You cannot be successful without failing. But the only way that you can be successful and understand your failure is to be careful not to lose focus along the way. Failures will come. But the moment you let a failure serve as a distraction to you, it means you've lost your focus. In our current generation, it will surprise you to know that the top 10 richest people in the world, none of them has a college degree. And in order for them to get to where they wanted to be, they all had to fail. A prime example, Elon Musk, CEO of Tesla and SpaceX, a person whom I adore so much. In order for him to become the Elon Musk that we know today, he went through bankruptcy. This is somebody who has been poor to the point where he had to file bankruptcy for the state to forgive him of his debt. But now, if we are talking about the richest and influential people in the world, he's one of them. Jeff Bezos, the current CEO of Amazon, and the current richest person in the world, $115 billion net worth. He started Amazon in his garage at a time where his parents were driving him out. America, they saw the 18 years up. You're on your own. My madam for Bakers a few weeks ago, I catch him and said, "Name I'm 25 years. At age 25, he has to move out." And this is somebody who is 23. At 23, $10 he doesn't have saved. If you can movie at 25, what are you telling him? But Jeff Bezos, at the age of 18, his parents told him that he's now 18. By 21, he has to move out. But because he knew what he wanted to achieve, he decided, why not start a business in the garage? After all, I didn't go to school. But I know that I have things that I can sell. And in order for me to sell these things, to one day become the richest person in the world, I had to start from somewhere. So he started selling from the garage. From his garage is what we now know as the Amazon.com. What we now know as the place where cities are bathing beds so their second headquarters can be established. Because he understood the essence of failure. It's okay to fail. Everybody fails. Everybody fails. But it takes one person to understand that my failure has to lead to my success. If you don't fail, you won't become successful. You have to fail to be successful. Imagine, sir, you tell yourself you are successful. And somebody asks you, why are you successful? You haven't failed at nothing before. You've never failed at anything before. You've always been successful at something. So somebody asks you, why are you successful? you wouldn't have any comparison to make. But if you have failed before, you would then tell the person, at this point in time, I failed at this. And so moving out of that situation to this, I can compare that there's been a progress, so I am successful. Be careful not to lose focus. We have 50 days. 50 days from today will be 2019. Some of us have started our New Year resolutions. Some of us are thinking about it. But I don't want you to just think about the New Year resolutions that you are going to set for yourself. Think about how you are going to make sure those New Year resolutions comes to place for you. Think about the fact that nobody is forcing you to make a New Year resolution. Think about the fact that whatever resolution that you make today will change somebody's life for the better tomorrow. Will change your own life for the better tomorrow. There's one guy called St. Thomas Aquinas. He was born in the year 1225. He was born into a wealthy family. And he received a call to become a pastor. His family didn't want him to become a pastor because they thought Christianity in that era was too radical, so they didn't want him to become a pastor. But because he knew what he wanted to do, because he understood that whatever impact he leaves behind is going to benefit somebody, he decided that no matter what his family does to him, he will still focus and get to where he wants to be. Because his family was wealthy, they kept him as a prisoner for 2 years just because he wanted to be a pastor. They tried to entice him with worldly pleasures, including women. They did all sort of things to distract him, but because he wanted to become a pastor, because he knew that that was his calling, no matter what his family did, he still stuck with his focus and kept working on his focus. Now, though he is dead and gone, but because he didn't give up on something which took place in 1225, the impact that he has left behind this world, we talk about him everywhere. If you go to Ghana, there's a school called St. Thomas Aquinas. But this is somebody that even Ghanaians didn't meet before. This is somebody that Ghanaians don't even know about. Yes, still, because he didn't give up over 100 years ago, he still has the impact today. No matter what focus, no matter what goal you set for yourself today, whether you achieve it or not, the fact that you put in that effort, generations will come and remember what you've done. So let me ask you, if you are to die today, what impact are you leaving behind? If you are to die today, what will people remember you for? If you are to die today, how will people benefit from your impact? Be careful not to lose focus. Be careful not to lose focus. Now that you are setting New Year resolutions for yourself, I don't want you to think about the failures that will come your way, because whether you like it or not, you will fail. Whether you like it or not, people will tell you that you can't. Whether you like it or not, there will be moments where you will give up or you will fail to give up. But in all these moments, understand that if you don't go through all these moments, you won't become successful. So you have to fail to become successful. But if you do fail, understand that failure is part of the goal that you want to achieve. Failure is part of the aim that you have for yourself. I don't want you to think about failing, but think about how you are going to deal with all these failures if they come your way. Are you going to give up on your dreams? Are you going to give up on your goals because you failed? Be careful not to lose focus. Be careful not to lose focus. And once again, you will never progress beyond your own opinion of yourself. It's a fact. How you see yourself is how others will see you. How you disrespect yourself is how others will disrespect you. How you see life is how life will see you. So see life in a positive view. See yourself in a positive view. No matter what happens in your life, you are still worth something. No matter what happens in your life, understand that you are a valuable asset to yourself. No matter the number of failures that comes your way, understand that you can only get to your success until or unless you pass through your failures. If you fail at something, let's say you said for yourself that in the year 2019, I want to graduate college. In the year 2019, due to one or two things, you are not able to graduate college. So you tell yourself, then, college never will be. 2020 is getting closer, you tell yourself, I want to graduate college. 2020 comes, something happens, you don't graduate college, you tell yourself, college never will be. 2021 comes, the same scenario repeats. What is happening is that you are piling up your failures. And by the time you realize, you tell yourself that, and so now I catch you. The moment you fail, understand that it's an opportunity for you. Failure is a great learning tool. You can only learn about your success if you fail. If you fail, fine, you failed. And so what? Put it behind you, move on. Fine, people are telling you that you cannot achieve it. But that is their opinion. It only takes you to prove them wrong. If somebody tells you that you can't achieve something, that is his or her opinion. It only takes you to prove them wrong that you can achieve it. And so there is this guy who was in high school at the time. He realized that high school wasn't going very good for him. I can't remember his name, but he realized that high school wasn't going good for him. So he told his best friend, I'm going to be a Navy SEAL. His friend told him that he went through training to become a Navy SEAL, and on his graduation day, lo and behold, his friend was there. So he spoke to the instructors. Usually, the head of the department will present to you your diploma and all that. But he told the instructors, I want my friend to present my diploma to me. To prove to him that what he said I couldn't do, I have done it. I have proven him wrong. Though training was hard, though I failed at certain points, but yet still, because my friend said I couldn't do it, it is his statement that pushed me to achieve it. Why? Because I wanted to prove him wrong. Whatever goal you have for yourself, don't let it seem that you can't achieve it. You can.
What? What are you doing?
The body will do whatever the mind tells it to do. Your mind is your strength. If you don't quit on your mind, the body won't quit. The body only quits when the mind quits. The only way to keep the mind going, it depends on you, the individual, is to not give up. You will fail. You will fail. You will fail big time. Some failures will even make you think of yourself, say you are not worthy. Some failures will make you rethink of your aim, will make you rethink of your goals. That is this thing that I want to do, is it still achievable? Is it still necessary? But trust me, if you don't quit on yourself, you will achieve it. Whatever you tell yourself that you want to achieve, you can and you will achieve it. Because if you can't achieve it, you wouldn't have told yourself in the first place. But to tell yourself that you want to achieve something, it only takes you to put in the hard work. And to put in the hard work means understanding that failure is part of your success. Understand that you will fail. You will fail big time. But in all, know that that is not where you want to be. In all, know that you'll never progress beyond your own opinion of yourself. In all, know that your aim is to be successful. Your aim is not to be a failure. In this generation that we live in, the system is set up in such a way that you will fail, but if you are not careful, you will stay in your failure. That is how the American system is set up. You will fail, but if you are not careful, you will stay in your failure. Because the moment the first failure comes, that is the moment the system tries to push certain things on you. The moment you are studying for an exam, knowing that you've already failed the first exam, that is the moment Facebook comes to mind a lot. That is the moment YouTube comes to mind a lot. Today I had to, and I'm a victim of it, today I had to turn in some work. I'm not the kind of person who comes to work, who comes to church to do my assignment. But today I brought my laptop to church, saying that I want to get my assignment done. Why? Because instead of getting it done last night, I was on YouTube watching movies. And the moment I'm a fan of laptop, the starting assignment now, I'm saying, I'm going to YouTube and go ahead what is happening in Ghana for 5 minutes. By the time I realized, I'm going to 1 hour. So failures will come. So let's assume, said, I 1 hour, and I'm going to say, Sunday. By the way, work need you 11:59 p.m. Oh, so Sunday or me class me pass right na me time anya and then see. Do I blame somebody or do I blame myself? So failure is part of life. Mistake is part of life. Or mistakes are part of life. Nobody can tell you the type of mistake to make. You cannot tell yourself that I want to make that mistake. You cannot tell yourself that I want to fail at this thing. You cannot tell yourself that I want to make a mistake at this thing. But regardless of all the failures that comes your way, there's one thing that you can do. You can choose to give up, or you can choose to fight through your failures. As simple as that.
No chance to fight.
You can't pick and choose when to fail. You can't pick and choose how to fail. You can't pick and choose what to fail at. But you can choose or you can pick how to overcome your failures. You can choose to overcome your failures by putting in the effort to work more. Or you can choose to overcome your failures by accepting that failure is part of life. And so if you have failed, it's nothing. When Jesus came to this earth, Bible tells us that Ansan Awonya 12 disciples, there were a lot of people following him. So he had more than 12 disciples in the beginning. But yet still, after all the tests that he put them through, after all the encounters he had with them, they became 12 people. So we assume the 12 to be the best of the best. Yet still, not Judas won. Yet still, not Judas won. So what does that tell you? Does that tell you that yes, Christ to buy or fail? No.
No chance. No chance.
It tells us that you cannot control what kind of failures comes your way. That you can control whether to give up on those failures or to not give up on those failures. Again, you will fail. I know they mean control. I won't sugarcoat it for you to feel good. You will fail, and you will fail big. But if you do fail big, put in the efforts in a big way to achieve your success. So, moving on. What can I do to be careful not to lose focus? A few weeks ago, I spoke on the subject time management. I believe Gavin was there. I spoke on the subject time management. And because majority of us weren't there, I will briefly go over time management. If you want to stay focused to achieving your aim, the first thing you have to do is to be very cautious of your time. Again, if you want to overcome your failure and move towards your success, the first thing you have to do is to manage your time well. From Genesis to Revelation, everything is based on time. And if you read Ecclesiastes 3:1-9, it tells you there's time for everything. A time to die, time to live, a time to mourn, and all that. And in the end, it tells you that He makes things perfect in their right time. Meaning there is time for everything. So if you want to be successful, the first thing you have to do is to be able to manage your time. And what is time?
Look at that.
Time is irreversible. Time is unlimited. Time is indefinite. Time is irreversible. We all hear school. Now the answer, not high school. Me work middle school. Over here, and you're not ready. What did you yeah, why your homework? What are you? Koda? Why you doing now? And then you know, say I'll be in homework. Say I'll be Jerry. Say I'll be that. Why? Because they say no when you need responsibilities are on you. Your culture now, we don't see that. your needs. What can be done now versus what can be done 2 hours later. What can be done today versus what can be done tomorrow. What can be done today versus what can be ignored. We live with so many distractions around us. Everything you want to know, you can go online and find out. So the internet has become so it tells you that to them technology is not a distraction. But to the youth, social media is a huge distraction to us. Social media is a huge distraction to us. If you have an iPhone, I'm putting this challenge to you. iPhone has this feature called screen time.
Mm-hmm.
It averages the number of time you are using your phone and tells you at the end of every week. Keep a report for yourself. Every week, try to understand the number of hours you spent on your phone. You will see that gradually it increases. Why? Because it's a huge distraction. Social media. Social media will always be there. But that exam that you need to take, you only take it once. It wouldn't always be there. So why not put in the effort to take and pass that exam and come back to social media rather than socializing in all the media and failing that exam? Social media is a huge distraction. It's a huge distraction. And the irony is that the person who founded Facebook, one, he doesn't use it as much as you do. Two, in order for him to get to where he is today, Mark Zuckerberg had to drop out of Harvard. Again, failure. He failed out of Harvard, but he knew that because he had that background, he can establish something for himself and become successful at it. Today, if you are talking about the richest people, he's one of them. He's among them. Avoid the distractions. Know what can be done today versus what can be done tomorrow. Know what can be done now versus what can be done later on. Avoid the distractions. Friends, the second major source of distraction to the youth, friends. Oh, Madam Fuese party with them now and father and you. And so let her go, let him go. It's a party. Party will always be there. As far as I know, party never stops. There's always celebrations going on. So party will always be there. But again, that exam you need to take wouldn't be there. That subject you need to take wouldn't always be there. That subject keeps getting harder and harder and harder and harder. So it's better to do it now, because if you tell yourself you are going to do it tomorrow, it may be harder than what it was today. And if your goal is to go into, I can't speak of the other fields, but if your goal is to eventually end up in the medical field, then what the other ways? Because the healthcare system is continually expanding. New research are always coming out. So it's always getting harder and harder. So you are in the right moment to start doing it today than to tell yourself later on, than to distract yourself. Be careful not to lose focus. Be careful not to lose focus. Time management, social media, friends, knowing your priorities. And again, when Susie contacted me and she said, you had me on program today, this wasn't the theme that I was going to talk about. The moment she informed me, I was going to use a theme called Stay in Your Time Zone of Faith. Stay in your time zone of faith. But in some way, shape, or form, it links with be careful not to lose focus. In order to avoid distractions, you need to stay in your time zone of faith. You need to know that this is this person's moment. So my moment will be today. My moment will be tomorrow. My moment will be today. You need to avoid comparing yourself to other people. And you need to also stop making yourself a comparison for other people to compare themselves to. The fact that Auntie A is at this point in life doesn't mean you being Auntie B, Chinchina, you should also force yourself to be there. It's a gradual step. It's a gradual step. It's a gradual step. Obia any the radisha man was assassinated. Some people are fortunate to discover their ambitions or whatever they want to become at a little age. Some people are not that fortunate. Some people, they grow before they even know what they want to become. I was talking to this lady at work a few weeks ago. This is somebody who is in her 50s. And as she said, she went to college to party her college years out. So her college years were full of parties. It got to a point in time she was kicked out of Rice State. So she didn't know what to do. She kept bouncing back and forth, back and forth. She's in her 50s. At age 36, that is when she realized that she wants to become a nurse. At age 36. To you, that is old. But to her, that is the youngest age. At age 36. And I was very happy when I heard her telling a 43-year-old lady that she can also go to nursing school to become a nurse. 43-year lady, no think it's at age 43 year. So she is going to retire in her current position. And at age 43, it's young got to work out. Which is sad. Nurses now know more. Oma common school granted with some question about the Juma Oma common school. So it tells you that this lady is very knowledgeable. Should it make you say to yourself that Nameko Yasa may buy in Bayede? A Yasi buy the Obey Yana say, Ubeke the also and why? That is all. The moment you see yourself as a failure, people will always see you as a failure. It's a fact. The moment you devalue yourself, people will always devalue you. So don't be bothered when people devalue you, or don't be bothered when people disrespect you. Ask yourself, what are you doing for them to disrespect you? Maybe you're doing things that you are not even respect you because you are disrespecting yourself. But the moment you understand that you will never progress beyond your own opinion of yourself, The moment you understand that it only takes you to fail in order to get to your success, the moment you understand that even if you don't get to being successful, the impact that you leave behind will be positive for other people, that is the moment you realize that you are successful. And so one person said, success is only achieved when you realize that your successor is successful. It's a beer. Whatever effort and answer, you be out there school, but I be out there school, this is all person achieving them. A beer won't me achieving our time as soon I'm with the assassin. Now, so for assassins were now. All my ever now, that they are being on the back high. Say Nipa way there, or the Bobra. Now say Nipa way there, or the Bobra. As youth, there's no better age than being a youth. Youth there. Youth there. Being a youth there. You have responsibilities, but there are certain responsibilities that you don't have. If as I say, you're in a relationship, they say, you your car insurance. They say, your house or apartment. You are responsible for all these things. But, oh boy, because the moment that itself becomes a full-time job. And if you are not able to manage your time today, and you tell yourself you manage your time tomorrow, oh, 20 hours and not manage your time. At that point in time, it's nearly impossible. So manage your time today and put in your efforts today. Whatever thing that you want to achieve in this world, it can be done. And it should be done. And it must be done. Because one hour catcher will say you want to achieve this thing. Will be for yourself. So then what should prevent you from not getting to achieve it? A beer, you may not achieve it at this age that you want to achieve. But the most important thing is, do not give up. A beer, your goal is that by age 30, you want to build a house. Now, you are 20. So this is the right time to put in the effort. Start learning about how to build a house. Start learning about the components of a house. Start learning about what equipment needs to be bought in building a house. And trying 30 years on Sana, what we see say a dying crowd, saying yes, have a plan for yourself. Have a plan for yourself. Don't just go with the flow. Don't just do the ordinary. Everybody can do the ordinary, but it only takes someone who works hard to do the extraordinary. It only takes your effort to set you apart. So be careful not to lose focus. Be careful not to lose focus. I know you can do it. I know you can do it. I've seen people who have made it through certain programs that I still question myself. But the answer is that they didn't give up. If anybody has a question, feel free to ask. I will answer any question to the best of my knowledge. Personal questions or all sort of questions, I'll answer them.